If you're someone who's looking for the best diet or the most effective workout method to lose those pounds as quickly as possible, then I hate to break it to you, I don't really, but you're not gonna get any closer to the scale budging if you're on the quest of finding the best diet. Even if you end up shedding some pounds, you'll probably end up gaining it all right back because you're probably not planning on sticking to that diet for the rest of your life. That's why in this video, Masterclass Nutrition Breakdown, I'm gonna give you the recipe for success to make your own diets that you love sticking to for good. But why is it important to make your own diets or meal plans when you can just follow a bunch of other ones on the internet right now? You see, I got so many people messaging me on Instagram every single day who are struggling to lose weight because their diet isn't working for them. They say they have tried things like OMAD, which is only eating once a day, intermittent fasting, other types of fasting like water fasting, Weight Watchers, Noom, keto's a big one, Atkins, and the worst of all, jabbing themselves with a needle from semaglutide, aka Ozempic. And they drop a few numbers on the scale, but they end up gaining it all right back, if not more. What I'm gonna do to demonstrate this point is pull up a picture of one of my best clients ever. Her name's Sammy. She lost over 100 pounds, and she did that on the keto diet. But after she quit the keto diet, she gained 120 pounds back because it was not sustainable. Or sometimes, in a worst case scenario, people message me telling me they go through like a yo-yo dieting, where they get emotionally attached to what they're doing or what they're dieting, and then they develop binge eating disorders and develop low self-esteem and a hell of a lot of depression because they're not getting any success. This is also known as the vicious dieting cycle. This can easily be avoided if you have a diet that you like sticking to for the rest of your life. You see, dieting is a lifestyle change. Once you start doing it, there's no turning back, but people don't realize this. Because if it involves too many restrictions or sacrifices, then it's incredibly hard to commit to this long term without hating your life. And the only way you can find a diet you love is by you, because you're the only one that knows what foods, what habits, and what methods you can or would like to stick to. That's why in this Nutrition Masterclass Breakdown, I'm gonna share with you two really simple principles that you can use to create your own diets with your own food preferences and without way too many restrictions or cutting your calories to the bone so you could stick to it for the rest of your life. So let's get into it. Principle number one, understanding the calorie seesaw. Way too many people think all that matters about dieting is eating less or being in a caloric deficit. That's why they end up starving themselves day in and day out and just end up binge eating a couple days later. It's never sustainable. And eating less is also the reason why most people hit those annoying, inevitable plateaus that they all, or that you probably watching this, struggle so hard to break and don't understand why you're not losing any more weight, even though you're in a caloric deficit. But don't worry, because right now, I'm gonna show you and explain to you how you can do a caloric deficit the right way so you don't end up like most people that are ultimately gonna fail and give up entirely on their weight loss journey. You see, the safest way to be in a caloric deficit that most people are not gonna tell you, they're gonna just get you to cut your calories in half so you can get quick results but then fail later on, is to be in a caloric deficit of around 2 to 3, maybe 2 to 400 at maximum of what your maintenance calories is. But now you're probably wondering, what the heck is your maintenance calories? So I'm gonna break that down for you. So if you don't know what your maintenance calories is, then my friend, you're gonna go on Google and you're gonna type in the Mifflin-St. George equation. And you're gonna find out what your TDEE is. That's your total daily energy expenditure. That's also gonna break down your maintenance calories. So let me show you what I mean. You need to find out what your TDEE is, which basically is like how much energy your body burns. Like, so me moving my hands like this, I am burning energy, believe it or not. So once you figure out what your TDEE is, and your maintenance calories is, that's pretty much what your body is used to eating on a daily or weekly basis. So for example, if you're 300 pounds and you don't have any set goals, or you don't track anything, or you don't monitor your intake, and you don't know what your maintenance calories is, it's essentially like what you average for the week, right? So for instance, if you eat 21,000 calories in a week, that's 3,000 calories on average per day. And that is gonna become your maintenance. So if you wanna lose weight, in most cases, you need to eat less calories. Now, I do want to put an exception here. There is about 10% of you watching this video that are already in such a deficit, you don't need to cut your calories anymore. You can't cut your calories anymore. Now, that's a whole video for another time, but I want to put that out there. But for most, you need to eat less calories. If you want to gain weight and put on more size and muscle, you need to be in a caloric surplus. It's very difficult to build muscle and strength without being in a surplus of calories. If you want to do body recomposition, which is basically a mixture of both, it's very difficult to accomplish properly on your own because you're not knowing exactly what to do and what adjustments to make. So if you want to do body recomposition and you're watching this video right now, like if you're 210 pounds and you want to get to 195 pounds lean shredded with abs, but you also want to put on muscle, it's very difficult without having proper guidance and a plan. So shoot me a message on Instagram and I'll try to guide you in the right direction. Now, what are your macros? I get this question asked to me every day. I don't know what my macros are. Can you tell me what my macros are? It's really hard for me to do that without more information, but what I want to do right now is break down what they are and explain to you. So macros also stands for macronutrients, right? You have your macronutrients and your micronutrients. Micronutrients, whole other video, but it's basically all the mini stuff, not the major stuff, right? So stuff like fiber and iron and vitamins and blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. But you have three main ones: protein, carb, fat. So now you're probably wondering how much of each should you consume. So I'm going to give you a baseline to follow. That's going to be very simple. Now, in my opinion, the number one most important macro is protein. It's going to keep you full, more energized, help you build muscle and repair muscle, plus a whole other benefit. Some people will say fat is the most essential macronutrient, which there is an argument for that. But for most of us, you're watching this because you want to lose weight. So if that's the case, protein is the most essential. So here's the breakdown on how much protein you should consume. At an absolute minimum, we need to shoot for 0.5 grams per ideal body weight or per body weight, right? Now, it's subjective based off of what you weigh currently right now watching this video. I'm going to give you an example in a minute, but once you hit your body weight goal, right, once you drop all the weight you're trying to, you can then increase it to 0.5 grams to a gram of protein per body weight. You don't really need to go above that unless you really like eating protein. There's just no added benefit. So if you're 300 pounds and you're watching this video right now, I would shoot for about 200 grams of protein. Or if you're about 400 pounds right now, I would shoot for about 150 grams or 200 grams of protein. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I was once in your shoes. So eating anywhere honestly above 100 grams of protein when you're that large of an individual is very difficult. So just gradually build up, right? Right now, a lot of you, if you're 300 pounds, there's no way you eat 200 grams of protein. So just shoot for 100, then 125, then 150, and so on, and so on, and so on. But you don't need to go above like 200 grams of protein once you get to your goal weight of probably around 200 pounds. So now when it comes to fat, it depends on your body and what you're trying to do, whether it's recomposition, whether it's gaining strength, etc. There's a whole slew, right? But it should be a minimum of 30% of your calories, upwards to 40%. And then the rest could be filled up with carbs. Personally, what I like to do is a 1-to-1 ratio of protein to carbs. So if I'm eating 200 grams of protein, I eat 200 grams of carbs, I fill the rest up with fat. It's very simple. I would advise you to do the same because it's honestly just a lot less math and thinking, and it's just, I find great success with it. So that's all you need to know, and I know it's a lot, about your maintenance calories and your macros. So now here's the reason why a 200 to 300 calorie deficit is the sweet spot. Because if you do this, you'll be losing around 1 pound or 1% of your body weight per week. And this is a really good metric to use when you're a beginner starting off. If you're losing more than 1% of your body weight every week, you're doing something crazy extreme. You don't need to be doing this. I would highly advise you to take a step back, reevaluate, and remember the key to weight loss success and keeping it off is sustainability, not extreme crash diets. Now, once you get to a point where the 200 to 300 calorie deficit feels really easy, you're not that hungry anymore, you're not really losing any more weight, then increase it to a 300 to 500 calorie deficit and continue, and so on. It gets to the point of the laws of diminishing return. You don't want to get to the point where you're a male watching this and you're eating 1,000 calories a day. That's going to help nobody. That's going to mess up your libidos, your hormones, your energy, everything. Now, how do you make sure you're staying in a caloric deficit? That's a great question that I'm sure some of you watching this probably asked yourself in your head. So let me answer that for you. Let me show you the simplest way to track your calories without complicating anything. Let's say your maintenance calories are 3,000 and you want to eat 2,700 so you could lose weight consistently. Now, every time you go out for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, etc., plug in those food items to an app called MyFitnessPal or something similar and see how many calories your meal adds up to. Make sure that you hit the 2,700 calorie mark, as that is your goal for your daily intake. Now, in terms of macros, I wouldn't be super stressed about this at this point if you're a beginner watching this video. But the reason why I recommend using the MyFitnessPal app is just because it has a giant database. So like you can go to the grocery store and 99% of the stuff that has a barcode in the grocery store, you could literally scan with the app. And then it's gonna pull up how much a serving size of that thing is, or how much you can consume, etc. If you log your stuff properly, it's gonna also break it down per week, per month, etc. So that way it allows you to make adjustments over time or every week or every month, etc. So then like you can either increase, decrease your macronutrients, your calories, your micronutrients, etc. But here's where most people mess up. Instead of tracking their food, they guesstimate what they're doing. And then they go way below their maintenance calories. This is the size of their dinner. And they think by eating this amount of food every single day, they're gonna lose weight and keep it off sustainably. I'm sorry to break it to you. That is not the case. You're gonna end up like Sammy, where you lose a shit ton of weight really fast and then gain it all back and be really depressed and wonder what the fuck happened. The thing is, when you cut your calories to the absolute bone, which I know so many of you do watching this video, you're literally starving yourself. This is gonna lead to those intense food cravings. And more than likely, you're probably gonna end up finding yourself binge eating from the crazy deficit that you've put yourself in. I would know, I've done this stupidity. When you regularly eat very little amount of calories or energy, that's what a calorie is, your body thinks it's running out of energy or fuel. Picture your body as a gas tank. And it starts to slow down your metabolism and starts to get used to being on low energy. That's why when you have a low energy or low metabolism, you're gonna stop losing weight and you're going to hit a plateau which you don't know how to break. That's why aim between a 200 to a maximum, an absolute maximum of 500 calories deficit if you wanna lose weight without going through all of these struggles and hating your life because you're starving yourself. It is natural to feel a little hungry when you're eating less food or calories or energy that your body's used to. So next, I'm gonna show you how you can avoid being hungry even when you're eating less. Also, what foods you can eat to jack up your metabolism and become a fat-burning machine. So principle number 2, the secret to satiation or satiety, however you wanna pronounce it. Potato, patata, akuna, matata. Let's get into it. The reason why most people and you watching this video hate dieting is because they're hungry all the time. And nobody wants to feel hungry all the time. And here we go. Write this down. Get a notepad. You ready? The number one way to feel less hungry when you're dieting or eating less calories is to eat more protein. Because I promise you, if you're in a deficit or you're just hungry all the time, you are not eating as much or a lot of protein that you should. You see, having more protein than you regularly consume is an absolute cheat code when dieting or when you're in a caloric deficit. When you eat more protein, it stays in your stomach longer because it's harder to digest. This is going to keep you full for a longer extended period. Plus, your body has to burn more calories breaking it down. That's why it's good to increase your metabolism. And also, when you consume more protein, it's going to increase your muscle mass. When you have more muscle, you'll have your metabolism ramping up, meaning you're literally going to be able to burn more fat and eat more food. Some good examples of protein is ground turkey, ground beef, steak, chicken, etc. Notice how I didn't say any vegan products because those are full of crap. Newsflash for vegans watching this. Sorry, can't help you. Good luck saving the environment. Go to a farm, say a prayer to a chicken, not my thing. Also, I want to break this giant misconceptions that you watching this and every other beginner on their weight loss journey have when it comes to carbs. They think that cutting all carbs and eliminating stuff like bread, pasta, bagels, whatever they like eating is the recipe for success with weight loss. I'm going to break this misconception once and for all, at least for the ones watching this video. The purpose of carbs is to fuel your body. But when you're overweight, you're more than likely going to have a higher body fat percentage. And your fat can also be used as a source of energy. So consuming less carbs can actually help you burn more fat quickly, but eliminating it entirely is nonsensical. You know, like I get it. If you like eating carbs from sweets, candy, chips, etc., obviously that's not going to help you lose weight. But cutting it out completely is just going to lead for you binge eating later on the road. So follow the 80-20 rule, meaning you get 80% of your calories from healthy protein, carbs, fat, etc., and the remaining 20% you can eat on whatever bullshit you want. That way you can actually enjoy your favorite foods without an incredible amount of restrictions. And this is going to allow you to lose weight at the same time while eating all the foods that you still love. So this is all you need to know about how you can make your own diets that you love sticking to. But just as an added bonus for making it all the way to this video, because I know all of our attention spans is the size of a peanut, I'm gonna give you the top 3 mistakes that most beginners make when it comes to starting their weight loss journey. So mistake number 1, cheat meals / reward meals, whatever you wanna call them, gone wrong. Now, I don't like to call them cheat meals because I actually like to call them reward meals. You are rewarding yourself with all the hard-earned progress that you have gotten. Cheat meals is a way to tell your brain, I'm cheating on the diet. But if you actually consider it as a reward meal, then it's something to look forward to and plan and stick to your plan so you get the reward. However, they can help you avoid binge eating by not letting those cravings pile up and pile up and pile up to where all you can think about all day long when you're dieting is when's the next time I can have a cheat meal, or when's the next time I can eat a pizza. And this is also going to allow you to break plateaus if you do it properly and use it properly. But most people reward themselves with cheat meals at the wrong time for the wrong reason. That's why they end up gaining the weight back and feeling guilty that they just ate a whole pizza. Don't worry. I'm going to share with you how you could avoid the same mistakes that I made and probably you made watching this, so you can enjoy your reward or cheat meals guilt-free. You see, most people reward themselves based off the effort, meaning if they follow a clean and structured diet plan for a few weeks, and they work out regularly without skipping a single one, then they feel the need to give themselves a well-deserved cheat meal. In my opinion, that's not the right way. So instead, reward yourself for results. Let's say your first goal is to go from 300 pounds to 250 pounds, to lose 50 pounds. Feel free to reward yourself with a cheat meal when you lose your first 5 to 7 pounds, not just when you feel like it. And the good thing is, when you lose your first 5 to 7 pounds, your body's going to get into what I like to call the weight loss momentum, where you're going to start to develop a faster metabolism, meaning you'll be able to burn off your cheat meal calories a lot easier. Of course, you might gain a pound or 2 or 3, but don't focus on that. And don't focus on being perfect, because that's never going to happen. Focus on making progress, because consistency is the key. Mistake number 2, rushing everything. I notice this all the time, and you're probably guilty of this as well. People tend to try to shake off years of neglect of their body and years of bad eating habits and try to get all that weight off that they've compiled over the last decade in a couple of weeks. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Because let's be real. It took me over 11 and a half years of neglect of my body to get to 370 pounds. I can't undo that in 6 weeks. Our brains are triggered for instant gratification, but it's not going to yield to long-term success and allow you to keep it off for the rest of your life. Losing weight as quickly as possible is going to literally get you fat again. How many people do you know that have been struggling to lose the same 20 pounds for the last decade? It's because they go on this diet and that diet and crash diet and then bounce right back up when they stop that, because it's not sustainable. When you cut your calories to the bone and do hours of drenching cardio, you might lose those 20, 30, 50 pounds in a couple of months, but you're also going to burn a lot of muscle in the process, and you're probably not going to enjoy it. And so why should you even care about building muscle when you're just trying to lose the weight? Because if you don't build enough muscle in the process, you're going to have a lot more loose skin around your belly or arms and other parts of your body, and it's only really going to make it look a little flabby, and you don't really want that. Trust me, I know, I had dead skin. I would have had even more dead skin if I didn't put on a lot of muscle. So when you put on muscle in the process of weight loss, you're not only going to prevent the sagginess and excessive amounts of dead skin, but you're also going to look a lot more attractive no matter your age, because who doesn't like a little bit of muscle? But is that the only benefit? No, there's more. You see, the more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism gets. And when you have a jet engine metabolism, you'll lose weight on autopilot or maintain your weight on autopilot. Meaning, this is one of the key secrets to never gaining the weight back once you've lost it. Not having any or a lot of muscle is one of the major reasons why most people gain a lot of their weight back or are not able to keep it off. That's why you don't need to rush things. There's no race. Take a slow approach, a logical, sustainable approach to this. That's going to prevent you from losing muscle. So that way you're not only just going to lose weight, but you're able to keep it off no matter how many reward or cheat meals you have to a certain extent. Mistake number 3, not exercising enough to build muscle. All beginners think that the only thing they need to do to lose weight is do a shit ton of cardio as much and as frequent as possible. But doing a crap ton of cardio in a caloric deficit, let's be honest, is really stupid. Because when you're in a caloric deficit, you're already losing fat and weight. So why do you need to do excessive or extra cardio to burn it off even more, when all you're going to do is take away from the muscles that you're trying to build with strength training? So instead of doing a nauseating amount of cardio, focus on building muscle and strength. Because just a couple minutes ago, we talked about all the benefits of building muscle, like looking better, having a better metabolism, having more energy, etc., etc. Oh, and not to mention, you're able to have a lot more reward meals without messing your whole progress up. That's why you need to be focusing on building more muscle, more strength, instead of doing an incredible amount of cardio when you're already in a caloric deficit. But does that mean you can't do cardio at all? No, that's not what I'm saying. If you love doing cardio, do it in moderation. But do it so it's not going to affect you losing your muscle. Chances are you're watching this right now and you're a beginner or just starting off or wanting to resume your weight loss journey. So if you're wondering what the best exercises to do as a beginner for fat loss, click the link in the description below. It's gonna say the best exercises to lose belly fat, in which I basically cover an entire masterclass on the best exercises for fat loss with progressions, regressions, video demonstrations, explanations, etc. Go and watch it. Can't wait to see you there. If you like this video and you got any benefit out of this video, please, I'm begging you, it helps with the algorithm and shows that you actually watched it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more information just like this. An incredible amount of time and effort goes into this, and drop me a comment and tell me what the best part of this video you liked, or what's the best part of the video that you learned from. Drop it in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. I know it's a long one, but it actually shows that you're willing, ready, and committed to take action. Shoot me a message on Instagram. Talk to you soon. See you in the next video.